In this video, I'll show a free-to-play Ant team to fight this boss. So let's go over what the boss does. So sweepers will do more damage. The boss also takes more burn damage. The boss is also weak to fire. So the boss's gimmick is quite simple to understand. So when it falls below 90 or 60% for the first time, you will summon 2 avatars each. So you can summon a total of 4. So including the main boss itself, that will be 5 targets. And then all 5 of them will have a soul link, which means that they share the damage they take. And that's about it. It's very simple to understand. So let's go to the team. So I'll be using the Ant team, of course. So we'll go with Ant first. Just to point out, my Ant is A2. So the rotation might be a little bit different. So Ant, of course, is our main DPS. Skill 1, Skill 3 and Highlight. If you didn't know, there are 2 different types of guild bosses. The one we are currently in is Devour of Dreams. You see the purple icon here is basically the one that has 2 phases. The first phase you kill, then it enters the second phase, which is a weakened turn. So you have 2 weakened turns to do as much damage as possible. We are currently in that, the 2-phase boss, which means the rotation can be a bit more difficult to follow. Yeah, but I'll do my best to explain and even give you some free-to-play alternatives for the persona especially, because I know a lot of you guys are still not level 70 yet. So we have Revelation cards, the power set for more damage. I am using her 4-star weapon instead of her 5-star weapon, and the reason is because my Ant is already A2, who is already really strong, so I wanted to try to nerf her a bit to make it a bit more free-to-play friendly. So it's only 4-star. Here's a stat screen. Then we have Key. So Key is gonna be there to inflict the burn and inflict the Sacred Flame. Sacred Flame is basically the DOT, and since one of the stage effect is more DOT damage, he's gonna be quite useful here. And then his highlight also useful, can burn as well as increase fire damage to take. And then we have the Revelation cards, which is the control and awareness. So it will increase the fire damage here, useful for Ant. Then weapon is 3-star weapon. And then here is the stat screen. Now we have Lufel. Lufel is of course our healer. And can also inflict a bit of burn here, but it's not really needed here because of Key. But yeah, his job basically is just to heal, to tank, because the boss can hit pretty hard. Prosperity set is a must for this stage. Because you have 6 turns, my rotation is 6 turns. To ensure 4 highlights in the 6 turns, you need Prosperity set. Then I have his 4-star weapon. And then here is the stat screen. Then our navigator is Okian. She is for damage, skill 1, skill 3. The Revelation card is the power set for the attack, because she skills attack, and then weapon, 4-star, and then we have the stat screen. For Wonders weapon, if your team can tank well, use the Arc Knife instead. Because you can burn them, right? So you can at least debuff a little bit here, 4.5%. But if your team cannot tank, use the second weapon, which is what I'll be using because my team is not good enough, especially with 4-star instead of 5-star weapon. 5-star weapon I can use this dagger, but 4-star weapon I actually have to use this in order to tank. So for persona, our first persona here is Dionysus. I know a lot of you guys are still not level 70 yet. If you don't like him, you can replace Chikokudan. I will talk about him later, but Dionysus is here for Revolution, Rebellion, Tarakaja. You need all 3 because his buffs are really good, and the passive can also increase your allies' crit damage. If you don't have him yet, because you're not yet level 70, you can use Chikokudan for the replacement. For Chikokudan, you want Tarakaja and Rebellion. But I know Rebellion is very expensive, so if you don't have Rebellion, your other option is using Rakunda. Rakunda is not as good here because it doesn't activate the passive, but if you don't have, then use Rakunda. In the fight, I'll show you what skills to use if you're using Chikokudan, so you can just follow along. And it shouldn't affect your rotation that much. The other 2% you should already have at level 60. So Cert, Rakunda for the damage debuff. You use it on the turn before the weakened turn, so that you can debuff all 5 of them. Then we have Baphomet. Baphomet, I only use it for 1 turn, which is a final turn. Because of the passive here, it increased fire damage taken by 20%. So that's very useful for Ant, because on the last turn, we will use Ant's highlight and skill 3. The Red Hawk can also do some damage, so you can increase your points also. And we can start. So the first turn, Wonder will use Rebellion on Ant. So I'll include the free-to-play Chikokudan somewhere on the screen, so you can use Rebellion on Ant. So I'll include the free-to-play Chikokudan somewhere on the screen, so you can follow also, because I'll make this also free-to-play friendly, at least because I think most of you guys are still below level 70, so you don't have access to Dionysus. So skill 1 with Fel. Then we skill 1 with Ant. You have to buff this and also buff our attack. So right now it's below 90%. It will summon 2 shadows at 90%, and then another 2 at 60%. It's below 90%, but it hasn't summoned yet, and the reason is, I think, is because it only reaches below 90% after the burn damage. So what you can do is just use Q3 Okian, and this will trigger the summon. I don't know why it's like that, it's weird. I don't know why it's not like the moment it drops 90% it will summon, but it's, you have to use a skill for it to summon for some reason, I don't know why. But yeah, it summons now. And I won't use highlight yet because I want to buff An a bit more. I can delay one turn here, one action here. Then we can highlight with An to do some damage. Okay, the key skill 1 is to spread the fire because only the middle one is burnt. Then to fail with skill 3. And then target the Wonder to Starfire. And get skill 3. This should do decent damage. 85k, that's pretty good. Okay, now we just need to tank. We should be fine. And it summons here also because it has less than 60% health now. Okay, the crit kinda sucks. But that's fine. So things may vary for you because this is actually really nice. Because it's 4 of us and then 5 of the enemy. Sometimes your arm will be stuck between like 3 or 2 of them. Like maybe here. And if that happens, it's fine, you can continue. It doesn't affect much. The turn order is weird, but it shouldn't affect your debuff turns and stuff. It should be okay overall. At least through my testings. Because right now I'm using a 4-star weapon An instead of 5-star weapon An. 5-star weapon An will trigger herself somewhere in the middle here because she does more damage, right? The reason why it's like lined up like that is because they took the burn damage and then they summon. So there's a difference between dealing damage and summon, and they take burn damage themselves and summon. So it's different. For my case just now was that they take burn damage, then they summon, which is why everything lines up nicely. Which is ideal. Even if An is at the middle, it shouldn't matter much. Now we Revolution An. Okay, skill 1 with Key. The reason is because we need to spread the burn again. Then Lufel can skill 3 to heal, target An, get the Sapphire. Okay, then we can Wonder buff. An skill 1. Now we just tank. Should be fine, I think. As long as I don't crit with Riot Gun. Oh, that sucks. Should be fine. Okay, yeah, we are fine. So this is the turn you break the enemy and go to the second phase. Now it's turn 4. So we skill 1 with Okian. Then we can Marakunda here. This will last until the end of the turn already. No, end of the fight, including the weakened turn. Kill with skill 2. This will inflict the DOT, so hopefully that they can, to make sure that they actually die this turn. Now the skill 3. This we can target. Doesn't really matter again. Target Wonder. Give him the Starfire. Then we skill 2 here. So ideally you actually want to skill 1 here. The reason why you want to skill 1 is so that you get the attack buff, because you get 20% attack buff here, right, for 2 turns. And 2 turns is in the weakened turn. But right now, I'm using a 4-star weapon An, so it's not good enough to kill. So I need to use skill 3 to do the big damage. Okay, now we just need to hope that they die to burn. I think they should. And just hope that we tank and no crit. Oh, this is bad. A bit dangerous. I think that's it. Okay, one more. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, now we go to the second phase. This is where we do the big damage. Now we skill 3 Okian. Then we can use Rebellion for Wonder. So Rebellion, Wonder, aim on. Then we can highlight here with key. This is to increase the damage, the fire damage the opponent will take. Then we can skill 2 here. Since everything is burnt, the key's highlight will also burn the target. Then we can skill 1 because they won't do damage anymore, so might as well just do a little bit of chip damage. And can skill 1. So if you use skill 1 in the previous turn, you can use skill 3 here. But since I used skill 3 previous turn, I have to use skill 1 to buff the attack. Okay, that will take a good amount of damage from the fire and burn. Okay, now the last turn, we can go Red Hot. This will do a bit of damage ourselves, as well as inflicting burn. Okay, the burn is not that important because all of them are still burnt, but it will increase the damage, the fire damage they will take. So Arm will do more damage. Then you can skill 2 again with Swift Key. Okay, I'm not gonna use it yet. I'm gonna skill 1. Again, I'll use it on An's turn. Doesn't really matter if you use it now. If you use it now, it doesn't really matter because we are all the buffs already. You only have to use it on An's turn, the highlight, if An doesn't have the Starfire yet, because you need the Starfire from Fail first, right? So now we can do the final bit of damage with An, highlight and skill 3. 200, okay, that's pretty good. Then skill 3. That's very nice. Okay. Hopefully can reach 4 million. Okay, no. Let's see. 60 million, that's pretty good. My 5-star weapon can get me about 18 million. So about 2 million difference.